Welcome to the Molybdenum Software Show, the only show with uh, a genius redhead
Ducks.
and a not genius Israeli guy living in Thailand. I think that's specific enough to be correct.
I disagree. Not about the specificity, but about the statements.
Okay.
All right. I do not remember where we left off. We merged the NCI thing, right? That page is finally turned. Oh, we did get some feedback or some features or something got implemented upstream.
Yes.
Do we want to do that, or is that not urgent?
I say let's. So if we just try to bump NCI, it'll fail because it's a breaking change that we asked for.
Right. The documentation is inverse now. It's like exclude by default rather than include by default.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do that.
Right. So
That'll be nice. Wait, I get warmed up here.
Sorry. Where should I put this? Mob to open. That's good. Start it up. That's what. I think there was one. No, the bump failed, see, because of that. So
we have a PR there.
like
Okay.
updates. Is it NCI? There.
All right. Does not exist.
Good from project docs. So let's see what does exist. And there's this now.
Whoa.
It's include in project docs. Also, it's a project level thing now.
I see. So it defaults to false.
Also,
You
yeah.
can set it to true.
So program
That's
docs.
nice.
What was that? Let them mix something. We don't need to do this.
Agreed. That was us just defaulting it.
And
then if you search for all occurrences of exclude from whatever that keyword was.
Okay, let me delete this. Exclude from include in be true.
Looks good. There should have been two occurrences total of that. Awesome.
Yes.
All right. That should do it.
Reload. Oh, well, we have an earlier problem. I think we should do that before anything else, actually. I think we have a problem with source filtering. That's why we kept rebuilding everything.
That doesn't seem like it blocks this. I think we could merge this, right?
Yeah, but if I do an expect check now, If we have something that decelerates, then we should
Yep, I
fix
see.
that first.
Sounds good.
So I'll keep a stash of this with the message bump MCI. And switch the source filtering of start creates. Shall we like debug source filtering?
I didn't even know that's what was going on, but it sounds plausible.
So if I add a lib here, and actually I want lib from here. Lib file set trace val. But I don't think this does it. I think we're missing lib file set to source root. And then if we do file set, I think this is equivalent. But is there a way to prove that this is equivalent?
If you trace it, you could see the fixed output derivation and compare the two.
So I'll trace the earlier one first. But there's no point. Well, okay. So dash lib file set.
Or I guess they're probably not fixed output derivations, right? I don't know what the word is for these things. But they're things that end up in the store, and therefore, if you figure out where they are in the store, you can diff them.
So we just want a lib trace val.
Sure.
But I don't know where this goes, and it's not the same. Like, I don't know whether it applies some default filtering.
Yeah.
We don't have
Yeah.
a hook into this.
Right. Yeah. So it's entirely possible that under the hood NCI or Crane. Yeah. Or
I think we need to read a little bit. The absolute path. No, there's nothing. This is a bit lacking, right? Like, it should not be called path. It should be called source, I think. And then it should also say what it's doing or not doing.
Well, that's a little surprising, actually. Is it a string or a path? The example was a string.
Next is.
It's a little surprising to me. Okay. Start 7. Okay. There we go. And we're on the branch, are we on?
Didn't you get a new one
I
printed out?
seeing it.
That.
Oh, well, I just
fetch
created a mob branch. It's lovely.
You
This
can mob
printed
gun
some
it.
output that I don't see.
Yes, I think so.
Makes sense. Oh my. Okay. There we go. All right. Source filtering.
Yes.
Here we go. All right. I'm surprised that this is a string. Oh, this is the Nix code one would type, because this is a string, but it says type as path.
Can you see the declaration?
Is this just a
I
typo? Should this not have quotes?
think so.
Should we PR that?
I think it's a bit bigger than that.
Or is it hard to do because it has to be a valid?
Oh. Um,
There's some way to do this, right? You
there's a
don't have to
way.
type valid expressions.
There's a way to. There's a utility, something like
Make raw Nix or
literal expression. There's a
oh,
function called literal expression, I believe.
that sounds plausible. That get used at all in here? Yeah, there you go. Shall I PR that real fast?
Sure. It's
Like that. Look, they even have it here. Oh no, that's the one I just wrote. Haha, never mind. But right here is an example of, yeah, exact same thing. Okay. What is the commit? Okay, conventional commits. What is this, a chore? It's a fix for the docs.
I think a fix for the docs is docs.
Docs, add missing expression. Path is a string. A pass. GH no, GH repo fork.
Yes.
Okay. Set default. Dakra. Create. Boom, 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 boom. Submit. Okay, there we go. Hopefully lib was actually present in that scope. Yeah, looks like it is. Okay. And then what's the actual connection here between this and the Flake Parts website? Is it Flake Parts going to like update some Flake input nightly that'll then rebuild docs?
Sorry, I missed that. I increased the volume. Say it again, please. The difference
I
between.
don't understand what all would happen after this PR gets merged that would then cause this website to get updated.
Oh, Flakepart's website. Yeah, it pulls in those flakes. I think there's either manually or periodically bumps its inputs.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. Huh.
So as I said, I think it's a somewhat of a bigger bigger problem there with at least the documentation, the very least, because but also make derivation takes an attribute called source,
Hmm.
not path.
Yes.
And while path is like, okay, it's just a different word, and it's the name of the type, so fine, whatever. But it's not exactly whatever, because if you just say path, then it might imply that this is the path, and then it will be converted into a source
Hmm.
somehow.
Yep.
Well, if you call it source, then it makes it unambiguous. This is the regular source attribute. You know what to do here. You know that you need to filter it yourself.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's a piece of feedback I would give NCI.
Hmm.
But not before finding out whether it already does some source filtering,
Right.
which would surprise me, because it's not, you can't just do that.
Yeah, I
You,
don't
you
know if
can't
you
just
want.
do that, because Rust projects can include files that are not expected, arbitrary files in their compilation.
Yeah.
It's project
Yeah. I mean, I think we
specifics,
know that NCI is not filtering out random stuff because we have like the things compile and we have like the cached SQL metadata stuff somewhere in this repo,
right?
and you need that in order to compile.
Right. So I would
Uh,
start by providing that. Maybe we
it's
should solve it
this
first and
stuff.
see that we can actually provide a source there, and it would be accepted. Because when we say to source with the file set library, we get a I think we get a store path,
Hmm. That should work. So
which would be equivalent. So what we're doing, which would be, because a type, I think that the type path, I'm not sure whether I'm not sure how it behaves with regards to type checking, whether it can accept a string.
sorry, whether what can accept a string?
The type, an option that's type is path.
Are we going to be giving it a string?
I think so, because the function to source returns a store path, which is a string.
I see. Hmm. Okay. Uh,
Rotate.
Nothing here. Go for it.
Just to test that, I can convert this path into a string, right?
Mm-hmm.
And see whether we can do an X-Blake check, or even dir and reload. Does dir and reload do something with that? No, I don't think so. Blake check. Next build, I think it's enough to build the API. That seems to work. We're building.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe strings count as paths for the module type checker.
Yeah, maybe it sees whether the string looks like a path. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know what the criteria would be though. Either it starts with, maybe if it's a string, it must be absolute path.
Yeah.
Do you wanna find out? Become more expert.
How would you check?
Look at the type definition for this type. Mixed
In
packages.
lib.types?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Take a look.
It's not going to be that easy. Do you know what I want? I want
What do
to
you want?
when you use telescope to like reduce this. Like I want to do a search lib types. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do want to do that, but this is all in one file. So check x is string like
There you
and built-in substring 0, 1, the first character, to string.
Yeah.
I guessed it.
Good job.
What about is string
So
like?
paths must be string-like.
Yeah, let's see what that is.
If
Is
it's a
string.
string or a path, or if it has an out
Is
path.
string is built-in. Is path is also built-in.
Okay. Well, that answers that. Or it has a out path
Has
or toString
an
adder.
out path. Oh, this opens the door to some hacky stuff.
Oh, I don't think we need to do any hacky stuff, though.
No, just
Good to know about.
no. String like make your attribute string like with two string.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not recommended though. I'm not sure what's
not
but
recommended.
this
Somebody
is
should add
core
a
nix
comment.
because
This is
it'll be
core.
interpreted by by I mean what let's try that. Nix REPL to string, right? I
Mm-hmm.
can't do this, can I? But string equals boom. No, I cannot do that either.
No,
Wasn't
no,
that
no,
the
no, no.
attribute?
It needs to be a function.
What
Set it
function?
equal to a lambda.
I'm sorry, I don't remember. Is
No,
string
you were good. Did you see how
like
different the error message was?
oh just from the error message you
Because
tend to
it's
call okay.
you see how it's
So
trying to call a function?
it'll be called with itself
Probably. That would be my guess.
x
Just hard code a string.
x dot a.
Or not. That works too.
A equals oh, does that make sense?
Semi. Yep.
Yay.
Okay. We learned something about Nix. Interesting.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Just like Java. Have two string methods on your attr sets.
So I think we can just go on and source filter this, I suppose.
Yep. I agree.
Lib file set to source root there file set
That's supposed to be a string or a path?
oh sorry file set. Here is our implementation. We can start with I think we can specify. I think it'll be simple to specify the cargo toml, cargo lock, and everything under crates.
Okay, I like that.
Next.
Right. I, unlike you, do not have this library memorized. So do I need to look up the docs, or do you know how to do this?
I think I know.
Okay.
This can
lib.file
be
set
libfile set unions, plural,
yuns. Okay.
and that takes a list. And
Okay.
here in our case, it's just paths.
Got it. Something like that.
Yes. Now, if you could debug it,
Well, I got an idea. Let's just
trace
see if this
it,
changes, right? Like if I touch our
but
someone
there is a
related
trace
file.
thingy, right? There's a readily available trace that gives you a list.
Okay. But just to make sure I understand what we're talking about, do we believe
Mm-hmm.
that that experiment I just did would have previously resulted in a different derivation here?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to see that if that's all right. Can I
Go ahead.
change this back to, what was this, dot dot slash dot or something?
Exactly.
That's different. And then I'll delete a character, run it again. Okay. Yeah, I'm convinced that you are right. But you want to teach me about this utility?
Right. Put that in parentheses and pass it through libfile set trace val.
Something like that. Oh. You convert a lib.sources based value to a, what is it? Just trace?
Go. Sorry.
It says argument is a lib.sources based value, but it should be a file set or path instead.
So
Do I have to toString this?
I think it should be before to source, which means I think it's the unions. So you're tracing the file set.
Interesting.
You're missing a parentheses there.
Thank you. File set is of type lambda,
This is a
but it
lambda,
should
is
be
it?
a file set or path instead. Trace val, probably.
Trace val, sorry.
There we go. Okay.
I mean, that's literally. Oh, right. Yeah, we can.
This is showing the unfiltered thing here. And then saying what gets
What?
included.
Huh.
I'm just guessing because this has more in it, right?
Yes.
Anyways, I mean, I'm convinced that this thing works because of the eval experiment we did. So I'm happy
So
with this if you are.
did you make the eval experiment that shows that this fixes the situation?
Yeah. So if we do an eval right here, I will demonstrate, post it, save the README, yet we will see the exact same derivation popped up.
What do you know?
Oh, that's great.
Cool. Now
You
we
should
get
be
to
the one
keep our
running
cache.
this. All right.
But
Done.
thinking about it a little bit more,
Yes.
I think there are README files in the crates as well.
You thinking we could or should filter them out?
Yes,
That
they're
does
not
not
part of the
seem
build.
worth the complexity to me.
So for each crate, the things that should be in are cargo toml, cargo log,
Mm-hmm.
and source.
Oh, okay. Is that true though? Where are the .json files?
If they're not in source, they should be in source.
They're in crates store
They're not.
.sqlx.
Okay, then we can explicitly include what's missing.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate though, right? Because it's like stuff's leaking into this one place.
That should be a flake parts concern, like some feature, some option that allows you for each module to
Yeah.
specify its file set.
Yep. So Flake Parts definitely gives us the power to do that. I'm just arguing that I don't think this is worth the complexity.
I think it should be a feature. If we're thinking upstream first,
Mm-hmm.
what do you like? It should be a feature of what? Do you think? Because we need to make an option, right?
Yeah, we would.
And
Yeah,
if
I mean,
we don't
sorry,
make
go
an
ahead.
option, then it would be the role of NCI to make an option.
I think so. I mean, is this thing that we just wrote even something that could arguably be NCI's job? Like, I get that this crates thing is a quirk of our project, but like, isn't NCI using Dream to Nix functionality to parse this cargo toml file? Couldn't it like dynamically include all the members? All the workspace members, I guess is the right term.
That so cargo supports for the value of this members both explicit paths and also this glob.
Mm-hmm.
With explicit paths, for example, Rust Flake. Did you see Rust Flake?
Rust Flake.
It's a different flake parts Rust
I've not
thingy.
heard of this. Okay. Hmm.
It does that.
Scans your Flake files for Rust projects. Don't even understand what that means. What are Flake files? Like flake.nix files?
I'm not sure what the phrasing refers to here, but I tried it.
Cargo toml parsed in Nix.
Right. So as you can see, it has less options,
Right.
but then it supports a single Rust project, which is more than enough for most repositories.
Mm-hmm.
But what my point is that it does this. If you look at the options, I don't think there's the option for
Sorry.
Well,
I was just amused by this feature comparison table.
right.
Wow.
We have contributed to that.
Wow. Talking shit on Dream to Nix here. Known to be unstable. Huh. Jeez. Wow. This is sorry, I'm getting distracted. Huh. Okay, whatever. Alright. Sorry. What were you saying? I just got super distracted.
Here, the one before last option. This is optional, right?
I can't tell from the docs here.
Hmm. Well, in any case, it does. I don't know what it does. Actually, I don't. I just remember that it's smarter. That it does scan the. So I actually asked for in this project. I asked for the feature of supporting globs because it's at a glob,
Oh, gotcha.
and there is no Nix glob implementation. So
Understandable. So does it give you an error if you try to use a cargo.toml that has a glob, or does it just do the wrong thing?
I don't quite remember, but there's an issue. Yeah, or a discussion.
Yeah.
If you're really interested.
No,
I
I
don't
was
think
just,
we are.
yeah. I was trying to respond to your comment about where should this logic live, and it feels like it could be an NCI thing.
Yeah, so there's a possibility of some default filtering, right? Or some figured out filtering.
Yeah, I think NCI, I'm just designing on this, designing on the fly here. It seems to me like NCI could, by default, include, parse the cargo toml, include the crates, but only like the source, only the cargo toml and the source folders in there, and then give people some hook for adding more crap, like our .cplex folder that we just identified.
Yes. Yes. But not supporting globs, because that's a bit much. So it's a little limitation that does not affect safety. You
Yeah,
just have to be explicit about your crates and so.
yeah, that seems fine.
We could ask.
Yeah, I'm down to file an issue. Anyone asked NCI for filtering? Cargo migration. And he really keeps the issue list small. I'm impressed.
I think what we should do is before we ask, we should work around it in a way that satisfies us by, for example, this is two things, right? This is an option for file sets is one, and the other
Mm-hmm.
is some default file sets. Does that make sense?
Oh, have you asked about this already?
It seems like it.
Okay. Should we remind ourselves about this conversation then?
From November. Yes, different rates within a project can depend on different non-Rust files, compile time. practically we probably want a single source derivation for the entire project. And I'm guessing that's what NCI does, right? What I would enjoy is a way to specify inclusions, file set, library set, per crate. I think it's wrong. I understand better now because I think this seems to rely on an assumption that is wrong, that NCI does any filtering.
Yeah.
And for NCI to somehow compose them for us using option merging. This is for separation of concern. There is a new FileSet API in X packages already, so I don't really see myself implementing anything in NCI. One could simply just use this and pass it to projects named path. Might be useful to include it. Sorry, what do you mean by pass, please? Pass where? Project path option is what I'm talking about. It has to be used.
All right,
So
so we
that
missed a few there, but should be able to override the crate derivation by setting. Oh wow, this is very different from what we're doing.
it's a misunderstanding, it's a miscommunication. I think I might have confused them a little bit, and then he confused me a little bit.
Okay.
I don't want different sources for different crates. I think I want each crate to define its own file set, and they will all be merged together with lib file set unions. This way there's both separation of concerns and a single source. There could definitely be an option for this, but I don't really know if it's worth adding in NCI when it would be a really simple option in the first place. It doesn't even need to touch any NCI code. Personally, I'd rather if it was a separate flake parts module that's not in NCI. I think it's outside the concerns for NCI. So
Yeah.
I think what we could try is to see how far we can go on our own, add an option and use it in each crate module, and then go back to Dusk saying, hey, here, this is what we did, and we think this could be but it's two things really. It's two topics, right? It's that option and these two things are decoupled. Even the order in which they're implemented doesn't.
Sorry, I'm not following on what the two things are.
Two possible NCI features. One is an option that takes file sets you see, I think it's a problem because I'm not really sure that taking file sets is desirable, because the file set library is supposed to be used with the to source function. And I don't, so to source takes root and file set, and I don't know whether it takes more things. It might. And if NCI declares a file set option, then it takes control of the to source call.
Yep.
I don't know that that's a good idea. See what I mean?
No, I mean I don't see why it's a problem.
I don't know that it's a problem. If we look at the file set library documentation, we might see that it's a problem. I don't know.
File set. The def files.
To source. root and files.
The directory does not recursively contain any file. It's omitted from. So yeah, I don't think I even understand this API. Like, you create a file set without specifying.
Why does root? You're asking why is root required, right?
I'm not sure I know what question I'm trying to ask. But yeah, can you answer? Is that an answerable question?
Well, let's see what the description for root is. The local directory path that will correspond to the root of the resulting store path.
Changing root only affects the directory structure. It does not change which files are added to the store. The way to change which files get added to the store is by changing the file set attribute. This smells to me like it's about basically how deep things are nested. Like if I said include, like if I had a directory structure that was like foo bar baz and foo bar foo bar baz2, like if that was like the directory structure or whatever, I guess it'd be foo bar, which has a baz and a baz2. And then if I said like, I don't know, file set unions of dot slash foo bar baz and foo bar baz2, I think there'd be some ambiguity here about if I wanted the result to look like this. Like possible answers could be that or that. Like, is that what this root is about?
Probably.
So the root just tells you like, oh, well, if you specify the root as foo bar baz, then the resulting thing will look like this. Sorry, if you specify the root as foo bar, then you'll get this. But if you just specify the root as foo, you'll get this.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what this, it doesn't alter what's included, it just alters the structure.
The root.
Yeah. And so then what I guess is confusing to me is if a directory, this doesn't tell me what happens if I specify something in my file set that isn't in root.
That's probably a constraint.
Like it probably
Fail.
errors out or something.
Yeah, you can try that.
Sounds plausible. So we would do that as like, if I just go into, I don't know, slash flake modules,
You
like
can
that.
do it in a REPL somewhere.
Well, this will
Mm-hmm. Yes, try
fix eval. Will this error out? Yep. Okay, great. Could contain files in blah, which is not under the root. Okay, yeah. All right. Well written docs. I just also hard. These are like the kind of docs that make sense once you understand how it works.
Well, they are written docs. That's a good start.
So the reason we're here is because you said you were concerned about who is going to invoke to source, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I think I didn't understand. You were saying something is going to result in NCI being the one that would invoke to source? Because if this was all landing in NCI, which it sounds like use Docra doesn't want, but let's say it was all landing in NCI, then there'd be some option that builds up like this file set,
Yes.
and then
Merge. Yeah.
NCI would merge it and then invoke toSource. Is that what you were saying?
Right.
Okay, makes sense.
In that case, you'd still have to provide the root as well, because that's a required argument for
Right. Yeah.
to source.
So yeah, you'd give NCI two things. It would be like the root of the project, like where the cargo toml is and the cargo lock. And then in every crate, you somehow specify what's supposed to be included from that crate. And then I could see how NCI would invoke toSource to pull stuff in. So that seems fine to me. But you said there's a problem with that?
I was just thinking that maybe toSource takes more argument, and then it becomes complex. But it doesn't. I think the only role it will ever play is with the relationship between, it's like combining the root with the file set.
Yeah. So yeah, it's too bad UseDocker doesn't want to do this, because it does smell like a reasonable thing.
I think he's just not. I didn't explain myself well enough, and also it's not a complete example. I think he also asked to see some example.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't think it's a lost cause.
Yeah.
And I think it is.
We could build this ourselves as an option that then just it gets evaluated, whose values get merged and like lands in here somehow. And we could prototype that in this repo. We could also say, hey, this is a fun thing to do someday, but we've already made things better with the change we have in our branch. And we could put this on our back burner for like
I would like
a week
it.
of hacking.
I think it's just a few minutes.
Okay, then let's do it. All right. So this code here is going to get genericized a bit, right? How generic do we want to go with this? So, like, do we really want to turn this into an option right here?
Just that the value of file set will be from config. Sorry, not the entire value of file set, but the argument to unions.
Okay. And then something I'm vaguely concerned about with that is, are we right now actually even being explicit about all the crates we deal with?
Where?
Like in this repo, in our project here, we've got like modules defined, Flake parts modules defined for many, or at least some of our crates. But I don't know that we've defined it for all of our crates.
Not for all. I don't think it's for all.
And with the thing we're talking about, are we going to have to add one
Yes.
for every crate?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Or can we like have a sane default value that we override just for crates that are special?
I don't think the default it's not resolvable.
The default is not resolvable.
Unless we have access to the cargo toml. I think we do have access to the cargo toml. To resolve the default, you say default. Well, it's a per crate default.
Yes.
So you need the list of crate names and where they are, right? The list of crate paths, more like. And the list of crate paths come from the value in the workspace cargo toml.
Yeah. And NCI somehow pulling that into Nix, right? Like using Dream to Nix or something.
Parsed in Nix.
Yeah. So I would hope we could leverage
I think
that.
it gives us. Yeah, I think it gives us but we could. Yeah, let's see it fail. let's see it. Let's see us specifying some crates and not others, and then
Yep.
for
Okay.
like
So like to demonstrate that failing, I can do crates / API here, right?
right.
Could not find crate, DB context. Cool.
Yes.
Totally reasonable.
Now give
I'm
it
gonna rotate,
okay.
or I'm gonna mob start. Whoops.
How are you not in a mob branch?
Don't know. Mob next. All right. It's all you.
If I mob start now, will it be okay?
Hopefully.
Oh, okay. So this will be config file set.
Do you want to extend the existing options from NCI, or do we want to build this in a fresh namespace?
Is it even possible to?
Pretty sure it's possible to extend. I don't know if NCI has to opt into being able to extend it, but Flake Parts certainly lets you extend the Flake Parts
So
module namespace.
okay. So this is per system config NCI file set. I
I
wonder
think this would
whether
be
this
a map over all the values of all the crates.
uh, the default a default.
Sorry, what are you saying?
A default would be because it's like it's not even a default because the default would be overridden.
Sorry, what is not a default?
You're saying that this would be a mapping over cargo toml members here.
Or like I imagine, isn't there like an NCI per crate config? We've done this. Haven't we done this? Like
Uh,
settings for each crate include in project docs,
oh,
the one
okay.
we just touched.
Okay, fine. Well, there's that, but then it needs to be merged with ours, right? With the explicit ones.
I guess what I'm proposing is like that include in project docs, to use an example. We would add another one that has a default value that's sane, but is also overridable.
I'm skeptical about the sane default value. I think that's a bit much.
Yeah, or we set it to null. I don't know. And then it's a required thing that everyone set. That's a separate debate. But like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the structure of the options,
Mm-hmm.
it feels to me like it should be a per crate thing that gets merged here.
I see. A per crate. It's not. It's. Hmm. Uh. Maybe okay. Config NCI crates.
I don't have the API memorized, but Yeah, is there crates? Where is that include or exclude?
Hold on, so I'm trying to split this here. Let's set this. This would be a that. This would be a
All right.
this.
Using that window manager. Love it.
Yeah,
Proud of you, Shahar.
thank you.
It's called projects, I guess?
Per system NCI crates.
Ah, great configurations. I love it.
Name. And under that you get so but like actually this is I don't know how to do that. I never did this. So this is if we go this route we'd have to figure out how do we create on the fly options.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea how to do this? Because we don't have to. We could just do config file sets. Or we could start with this. Does that make sense?
I mean, on the fly options, that's like any. Trying to think of if we've done this together. I've definitely done this in my personal Flake.
Really?
Because I added an option. I added a per system option for my Flake parts modules.
It's not I'm sorry, I don't think it's really I think it's just this is not the option is NCI crates. And then there's a submodule there. So the name is part of the value, not part of an option. Do you get that?
I don't understand the
Name
distinction that you're making.
Name
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the option. This is the tip of the option. And whatever is underneath here is just a value. There's no option NCI creates name. Well, there kind of is, but it's just a submodule. It's a submodule and name is arbitrary. So there is never type checking on this. There is never an option called creates foo.
There's never an option
It's
called
like an
crates.
attrs of.
Yeah.
This is
Attrs
an
of stir that maps to module or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That sounds right.
What do I do now? Put this. No, I think the right thing to do is pull this over over here.
Okay. Well, if it's all right with you, I'd like to just give it a shot, and if we can't figure it out on this rotation, we can do the thing you suggest.
I no now I changed my mind. I think this is I know how to do this submodule.
Great. Cool.
But can we start with the usage instead of the implementation?
That sounds great. Didn't you change this line, or did you not?
I changed it, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, great. So this is going to look something like lib file set unions, and then we're going to like map over values that look something like this. It's going to be like, I don't know, map something here over, and this will be like, I don't know, config.nci.crates, like that maybe. And I guess this is map attrs to list. This will be like crate name, crate config, and then from here we'll like, I don't know, crate config dot file set or something. How's that sound?
Mhm. Lib file set units. That this is like this. This is trying to understand whether this is. I think this should already work, except that we are missing the cargo toml and cargo log.
Good point. Good point. Yes. So that would be, I don't know, adding them in.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yes. Let's see whether this suffices.
Yeah, I mean, this won't work. It's going to give us an error about this value attribute not existing or whatever. Oh, great. Infinite recursion, even better. But I think that's probably just because this thing doesn't exist, right? Like if I hard-coded this to be an empty array, still get infinite recursion.
While evaluating the option
Bummer.
definition, program docs via program doc. I think you can't iterate on crates.
Yeah. We had a hack for this that we just removed or are in the process of removing.
What are you talking about?
How do we do this? Big NCI outputs.
It's output.
But different than crates?
I don't think this is our source of truth, though. See, NCI figures it out, and I think NCI gives you an option that is the toml value of the root cargo toml, so you can just get the list from there. That makes sense.
Okay. All right. Huh. Well, that's the only place the word toml shows up.
Hmm. Project name. No. Scroll all the way down, please. No, I don't see it. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, we could try the outputs, I suppose.
This is like some of this code is where it parses the toml. Project root, rel path, cargo toml. So that's probably for each crate right there. Yeah, it does seem to be expecting there to be an actual cargo toml file.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Okay, so what we could do, I don't know if this will work, is we could say for each of the outputs, so this will just be a map now. Crate name. Do like
Outputs are still an adder set, right?
I have no idea. Outputs right here. We start with outputs and then we get, okay, yep, you're right. Thank you. Crate name. And we'll do nci config.nci.crates dot crate name dot file set. Again, gives us infinite recursion. I hardcode that to an empty array. Also get infinite recursion.
Yeah, because output depends on projects. Like
Okay.
so the source, even like the source, right? It's all parsed from source in order
Yeah,
to know.
that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
So the entire cargo toml cannot be used for this purpose.
Yeah. Okay. So before we can possibly know what crates exist, we have to parse the cargo toml, which requires parsing the, knowing the path.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like arguably a different API to NCI that would allow for this, right? Like an API for NCI where you gave it the cargo toml independently of the entire project.
Yes.
But that would be like not something we could build on top of NCI. It would require NCI to be structured differently.
A little bit differently and very breakingly.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
That's okay. For us, it just means that we cannot get it for free. We need to explicitly list all our crates. For demonstration purposes, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, I'm going to mob next. I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back.
Likewise. Okay.
Hello.
So starting. Yeah. Oh, look, there's a new option: discard uncommitted changes. But git restore and mob start 7 is like a useless feature. Okay. So there will be no mapping. There will be just config NCI file sets. You know, I think it actually should be file set,
That sounds right.
and this would be it will be just file set. This would be the file set.
And then the merge rule will be to union the existing value with it.
Yeah, we shouldn't be using like a merging of a it shouldn't be a list. The type should be a file set.
Okay.
Because file set has merge properties. But it doesn't. Why doesn't it? Because there is more than one way to like merge. What's merge in a file set?
You could
There's
intersect,
union.
you could union, you could subtract.
But this one is unions. I think that's fine.
Sure.
So this is it here. And then we will fail on this option doesn't exist, right?
Yep.
So what we do is config equals, put this all under config. This all under config.
We don't need to do that, right? Can't we just put config dot CI dot
It's
projects?
all of this.
Oh,
There's
sorry.
shells.
Yep.
Multiple.
You're right.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, my auto formatting doesn't work.
Aw.
I think it was because the flake did not evaluate.
Then it cached the lack of evaluation or something.
Yeah, and reload.
That doesn't matter for the purposes of this.
Oh, has nothing to do with the
Yeah.
Wait, so yeah, this whatever this is, unable to discover.
Uh-oh, found a typo. That's my whoopsies.
Next filmed command. Stood error warning, git tree is dirty. That's just a warning. The error is while evaluating the attribute value something attribute file set missing. Yeah, that makes sense. Oops, file set missing. So file set is this one. So now we need to options dot. This is in persistence with NCI file set. Make option type. You know the type? I don't know the type. I think we need to do lib make option type or something. Did you ever use this?
I have not defined custom types before.
Me neither. At this level, make another right over here. And mix packages. And take a look at some types. Do you want to look at which type? At list? List of?
Sure.
Non-empty list of. List of. Yes, it looks like it's a there's a function. List of, yes, it's a function because it takes the lm type, but then it returns make option type name, description. So I think we can start with this. Hold on, let me do things right here. The window management. Okay. Oh, you know what I also have? I have this. Select window. Neovide VR. That's pretty cool. Make option type. Name.
Sorry, what's pretty cool? I was looking away.
Window picker by search.
Oh, okay. This is a window
Which
manager thing?
packages? It's a what?
This is something from your window manager?
It's an integration between the window manager, the something called whatever this is. This is the what's it called? Whatever this
I
is,
don't know.
right? The launcher.
Stallcraft.
Yeah, that's the game.
Nice.
And Swayer. If you ever want to use
Sway.
Sway and then R.
I'm swear than you.
Don't I look Swayer and look at this. Description. Let me just for reference put this here and then rotate. Mm,
Wow. The readme for swear is hilarious.
it is.
Well, just the opening sentence is like, he screwed up LRU and MRU, like the meanings of
Oh
them.
right. Yeah.
Least
Phenomenal.
recently used and last recently used. That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. If I did that, I would make a breaking change and modify the history of the master branch to
To hide it.
remove all.
Yeah, I would not. That's a commitment to not breaking, to stability there, right? You know, that's what that Rust Flake project's all about. Stability. All right, mob starts 7. All right. Look option name equals, and this will be I don't know, a file set. It's just got reformatted for me. All right, and then let's start there. See what happens.
How come you can reformat?
I haven't closed my editor since my Flake evaluated, since our Flake
Okay.
evaluated. Was access but has no value defined. Wonderful. Okay. So let's set it to something. I'll go over to, I don't know, API, module, API.
So it's a type with only a name.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we need to do more, but I'm trying to just follow the errors here.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be like, I don't know, NCI dot file set is what we're setting here. Here. And how do you build a file set? Is that just a, I don't remember
It
how to
can
build a
be
file set.
a list of
Okay.
it can be a path or a list. Can it be a list of paths? I don't think it can be a list. I think a list is ambiguous. I think you can do a single path, or you can use a file set function like unions.
What is union singular?
Union singular is a union between two, and then it's two arguments.
Got it. Very slick. Okay. lib.fileset.unions traits API. Does that exist? No. How deep are we here? Dot.
It's a default
There we go.
.next.
Okay. Sorry. Default.next.
It's a default .next. That's why it's more deep.
Gotcha. Okay. Massaging. Ta-da. Great. Is that what we're talking about here?
That's what we're talking about.
All right. Element 1 is a path that does not exist. Oh dear. Great. API. Cargo Tomo. Oh, there's an lock file. What am I talking about? Sorry.
Right.
What am I smoking?
I'm sorry. I think I put that in your mind.
Okay. No cargo lock. That makes sense. We need that. We don't even have a cargo toml yet, right? That would
Well,
be reasonable to have up here, right?
it's
Or you just union it in here. Oh, I guess there isn't a nice way of doing that.
well, if it is the file set, then it should be the merge. The merge should end up with the final value, right?
Yeah. So we haven't written the merge yet.
Is it an anti-pattern that an option has something more than what you give it?
I mean, that seems to happen a lot in like NixOS, right? Like you can add
Does
files
it?
to Etsy, and there are a lot that end up in there that I didn't put.
But is it defined
Yeah.
by the option that defines Etsy, or is it because it's used, its value is defined in some places?
Yep. Yeah. No, I hear you. I don't.
I think the right thing to do is to define a value for it, like just under your caret. Like,
Yeah, we could do that. Like nci.fileset equals lib.union.
I'm sorry, why is it NCI file set? We have per project. We have multiple different projects here.
It should probably be a per project thing.
Yeah. But is it even possible? If project is defined already as an option, I don't think we are able to do that. We can only. I don't think we can do anything. If one module defines then per system NCI projects as a submodule, we cannot add more to that submodule, can we?
I don't see why we wouldn't be able to add more.
Because I don't know. Do you think? Okay, well, I never tried.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll address this to do later,
Sure,
but for now, we'll just leave it act
sure.
like this. Okay, great. Cool. So that is the value for file set. And right now we're probably getting, I guess I was expecting to get some error about having a conflicting value for
What?
nci.fileset,
Why?
because we've set it to
Oh,
one value here
and we
and
didn't tell it
another
how to
value.
merge.
Right.
There's no merge and there's no check. But we did get an error, right? Some error. What error did we get?
So it's trying to look for the crates directory inside of this store path. And I checked, and yeah, there is no crates directory in there, so, you know, no surprise there, I guess.
Mhm. Are we supposed to declare the option outside of per system? Does it matter?
The option declaration doesn't seem to me like it should go outside of per system. These are all per system projects is per system, right?
They are, but I mean not the path of the option, but the declaration of the option. Anyway, let's not give that attention right now.
Okay.
Might not matter.
So, certainly feels like this value is winning. I would have expected to get a conflict with this one. I don't know if we will if we define a certain type of merge.
There's the whole comment out. There's the comment out example.
Merge equals lock def. Do something like lib.fileset.unions defs. Like that. Okay. The type set, but it should be a file
Header
set.
set.
Adder set. Does lib.fileset.unions return?
A file set.
Okay. Let's lib.trace val on that. Dealing with. Yeah,
But
that's a
trace is a
file set.
list.
That's a file set.
But it's a
Oh, yeah. No, but that makes sense, right? Because unions takes a list.
that's yes.
It's not complaining about the fact that it's given a list. It's complaining that element 0 is a set.
Yep.
This is element 0 right here.
File set.
Yeah, it is a set. It's an adder set. It also says
But
underscore
we don't
type.
have a check. Wait. Where? What's giving us this? It's the merge. The merge failing.
Seems like it. I don't think we can see it,
Unions
but
is
if I add
throwing.
show trace, maybe we'll see it.
Unions is throwing. I don't see it yet.
Here we go. lib.fileset.unions.
Right.
There's a lot of code underneath us, but context is of type element 0 type set. Doubt the actual. What is the check it's doing to see if it's a file set? The one. If the value is not a path, it's not a path. If the value has is libclean source with, value does not have that.
But that's not the
Yep.
error that we get.
Yep, I'm just trying to
Let's
read
skip that
through it.
one.
And then if it's string-like, well, I don't think it's string-like. Read that code earlier. Otherwise, blah. Okay, so this is not really the answer about. So by the time you get here, they're really expecting it to be a path. Look a little higher up. If value type or empty stir equals file. Yeah, there it is, file set. Okay, I'm just fundamentally misunderstanding this code then.
Me too.
Dare I try adding a debugger?
Maybe it's not this one. We set it in two places, right?
We set
We use
the
this option in two places.
yes. Well, I can comment
Which
this out.
two places? I want to see both places.
They're both on my screen. Right here and right here.
NCI file set equals lib file set unions. And
But hopefully
one is
that proves
commented
that
out.
this code on the right-hand side is. I just commented it out, getting the same error. Now we have a single value getting passed, a single file set.
So the unions worked, and I think I know what's going on. The merge function gets something that is unexpected. These defs are sets. Each of them is a set.
I see. But we're printing the value here.
We are.
This doesn't look unexpected to me.
That's
Oh, do we have to do
no.
dot value?
It does. Look, file equals stunk and then value. Yeah.
So we have to do
Value is
dot
our
value.
value.
Okay, got it. It was so like the type is file set, but I see that that's a different. Okay. Yep. Wow. Good catch. Map. Def to def dot value of defs. Go. Go. Okay. And will that appear if I add in this file set? Left force the crates directory to exist. Aha! Now we're in business.
Business.
Okay. Great. And then this is the annoying thing, is defining a file set for every crate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just do it.
Out of curiosity, is there a command to see the list of crates? I know I can do this, but is there like a generic cargo command?
Hey, we could do it with read dir. We can map from read dir.
Yep, that'd be slick.
You want to see the I don't know.
Okay,
Cargo.
that's fine.
There's a bunch of cargo commands.
Not a big deal. Dash dash list. Right. Okay, so where do we want to set this value?
Shall we keep rotating?
Yeah, thank you. Mob next. Go for it. Excuse me.
So underneath here,
What are we looking at?
this.
I see the timer.
See the timer? sure how that happens. Okay. This would be, yes, it would be that plus something like ins dot, I think it'll be a mapping of some sort. Pipe built-in dot read here, or we can start piping read the contents of crates. Built-in read here.
I don't think we have that keyword in this project. Or, the pipe token.
We don't.
I don't think we do.
Okay. Lib pipe crates list built-in read here. Why don't I? Why doesn't it read here? Let's see what's in there. Crates. Uh-oh. We have a stray file in there. Lib map actors to list.
Something are the two parameters.
Path or
Is it path and type?
their name and type. I think we want to filter first. Filter atters. Name type false. Regular. Do you remember?
Directory.
Oh, we
Does not
want
equal
directory.
file. Equals directory. Yeah. Thank you.
Name type. We want to map it to a path, right? So it would be crates plus name. We actually want to flat map this to multiple, right? Map adders to list of a list, and then use lib flatten
Okay. Makes sense.
crates plus name.
Yeah. You might need a forward slash in name.
Maybe this way, name.
But I do think you need a forward slash before the dollar.
Right.
That looks good.
This is one. And another is cargo.
No, there's no cargo lock.
Right.
Just the source. And then I don't know if you need a space for that to be valid next.
It is.
Looks good.
Let's find out. What else? Let me do a thing here. Right now you can't reload, right? LSP restart doesn't reload the
Right.
null ls.
That's right.
So I'll just quit, right?
I shared with you a command you can run if you want.
Oh, never mind. What I want to do is switch to a main where it works.
Yep.
And get in there so that it discovers it's successfully done. Now I can switch to source.
Nice.
Boom.
Love it.
Beautiful. Okay, so we have this, and theoretically, if this whole thing works, then we have for each a cargo toml and the source.
And now our issue should be the missing SQLX directory. And we won't notice that until compile time.
Nix build API. Expected a list, but found a set.
It's a lot like the last issue we had. Did I not actually? Oh, I think my changes made it. Great. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Start 7. Okay. Eval API. Yep.
While evaluating definitions from something via option
This feels like a parenthesis thing, isn't it? Like, shouldn't that go here? Or is that the same thing?
Did you add a... Oh, you're asking about precedence between concatenation and call. I think call is the most precedence.
Yep. And the parens change the behavior. All right. Great. I don't know what that was. We added a list that wasn't a file set, so weird things happened, I guess. Okay. So now if we try to build, this should fail when it tries to compile the what's it called? SQLX stuff.
Migrations?
It's not migrations, it's this query cache. That stuff is included at build time. So the changes we made to API, we could delete this, right?
These are
Just
these are
duplicate.
all read from the files.
Get rid of that. Okay. I'd like to delete all this commented out code. Is there anything here you think we should add?
Look, we didn't. We don't have a check, but the merge fails.
Yep. If you don't give it a file set.
It's a pretty strong check because unions takes a list of file set or path or whatever that detail is.
Yeah.
But and this is kind of proof of concept.
Yep. I feel good. If you feel good.
What is empty value? I just want to learn what's in here. Empty value.
Yeah.
not sure. This is for algebraic purposes, perhaps?
Yeah, if you don't specify something, sometimes that
Yeah.
makes sense. In this scenario, we know we want people to specify stuff, so it's probably
It's an option type definition, so don't confuse this with like make option.
okay. That's fair. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. So yeah, in the algebraic sense, there's an empty set is a sensible default.
Get sub options.
Okay, we got the build to fail in the way we were expecting.
Cool.
That feels nice. All right. So unfortunately, we don't, I think, have a good Nix file to drop this in. Want like a module for the store or something? Oh, we do. Go us. Nice. Nothing for NCI yet. NCI dot file set. We are already in per system. Lib dot file set dot.
You can be a path.
Okay, good point.
Just one path.
Yep. Okay.
Creates store.
Too many dots. There we go. Crates. Store. Whoops.
Dot. That's it.
Okay. All right. Love it. Go back here. So I think in the algebraic sense, it would make sense to specify an empty union. I think.
There
File set
should
with
be
no
one.
files.
There should be an empty file set, right?
It's reasonable. It's packages menu. File set. Come on.
No compute for you.
I'm at 100%. Busy computer. There we go. File set. Do it. Here we go. I don't know. Maybe if we call unions with an empty array.
Should probably do it.
Okay. There's that. One more next. Get your much beefier computer on the case. Oh, build failed. Ah, we've got another missing directory. Migrations.
Where is that?
That is in the util crate. Which makes no sense, but it's there for a good reason, or at least a bad reason. For a reason.
There's a path for it here.
Yep.
NCI file set equals just the path, right?
Yep.
Great. Will build empty val,
Pardon me.
empty val. Wait, this is here. Thank you. Here. As soon as we have the source filtering with the correct file set, we will start enjoying cache again.
Yes.
But also, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. As long as we don't put non-source things in source.
Yep. Which I think is a reasonable thing for us to strive not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yep. These are pretty weird.
These are used in more than one place, are they?
This is like
Database.
shared between the Nix and Rust code.
Yes. um, what is this? This is Nix. Let's look at the Rust files. Here. So API config has this, and fetcher config should have it as well. This includes stir, this and that. Well, this is for the purpose of the program docs. Maybe we should put it there.
Yep. Sure. Of a module?
Sounds like a disinterested, yep, sure.
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping we can come up with a better solution for this someday. Get rid of this.
So NCI file set equals. There's more than one of this, but let's start with one. Now, where do I get this? Did it include stir? Here are all the includes stir. There's database URL, GitHub token, but they live in different places. Where is GitHub token? MD. This file is, so this is in the root of fetcher config. So some of them are specific, and database URL would be in crates, right? GitHub token, GitHub repo owner, repo name, branch patterns. Crates. Here's database URL. This is one. And will it rebuild the depths as well? No, it doesn't. Look, the depths don't depend on the source port. This is from API config. So think that goes in API next. And do we have file set here? No. Okay, set grades. Let's put it here in CI. And CI. File set equals grades API config 4. Build again. Error-driven development.
Test-driven development.
This might be enough for API, to build API. How come the install phase takes so long? Okay.
API.
Next did.
All right. I guess this is a simple one. Let's confirm that that's a valid thing here. Lib file set unions of empty. Feels silly writing code that isn't going to do anything. But yeah, that seems to be a thing. So,
Sorry, what?
this line of code feels silly to me because it's not evaluated. This is like uncovered code, not covered by our tests or build process or anything. Like I could change it to an assert false, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get it. Okay.
I'm kind of inclined not to put it, but it also feels academically correct. So what do you want?
Well, I think the check would be more useful than an empty value academic theoretical value.
Mm-hmm.
So it's strange that we don't have a check, but we do have this. So I don't mind that you remove this.
Yeah, great. And I'm going to say we're done here with all these.
Yes, please.
Great. All right. Something didn't build. Branch patterns.md. We haven't. Go ahead and
We're
run into
building
that one
fetch.
yet.
Mm-hmm. Branch patterns is
Looks
in
like we
fetch
tried
config
to include it.
specifically.
What happened? Did we put this in the wrong place?
No, this is
Oh, that's
nothing
just
to
us
do with it.
reading the file. My bad. Okay. So all these files that we're reading. Duplicated. Go.
What are you
Where
talking about?
each of these is going to get added to our new setting, right?
Oh. Mm,
Yes, no.
I guess you're jumping ahead of me. I was fine doing the build failure driven one, but
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you're right. I
We need
think
all of them probably.
if they're in the crates, then they probably are included in the Rust build. I also recognize them. Branch patterns is indeed an option, an environment variable option. The GitHub token is as well. GitHub repo owner, repo name. That seems right.
Yep. Right.
So is the null ls none
Oops.
ls
That was the wrong
in
place
Nix
for it.
packages unstable?
I don't know. I haven't. I don't know how to track things like that.
Oh, right. You just wait for the. Okay, yeah.
There's like the whole collection of like Vim plugins that gets updated. I think it's supposed to be auto updated. The last
It's
time it
not.
got the last time it got updated, a human did it, and the human
Yeah.
said something like, "I don't know why this wasn't up to date, so I just did it." It was like Austin, one of the maintainers of Vim Nix. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could send in that PR, but yeah. This doesn't go here. Persistent. This needs to go.
Is this not good?
Sorry, I'm just a little confused. This needs to go in not
This is
Flake
not in
Nixos modules.
not
This
this
goes in
file.
per.
Simply not this file.
I see. Okay. Fetcher module.
Not module.
Go.
Fetcher default.
Thank you. But I guess you and I will both find out when it lands because we'll have patches that fail to apply.
I'll tell you the reason. I'm not asking. I remember that it'll fail to apply, and I'll find out. And I'll find out when I try to package it. Yeah, okay. I wanna announce it. Like, hey,
Ah,
everyone, there's this. It's a cool new feature. You should all be using this. If you
yeah.
if you see a Nix user that's not using it, that's the very first thing I'll. Even if I don't see him not using it, like no one knows about this at the moment, and everyone should know about this, right? Like there are thousands of Nix users out there.
Hey, you're a great cheerleader, Shahar. I love it. I'm on board. I agree. Everyone should use it. Lots of listen Mike 92 know. But they also, uh, you know, they seem like busy people. And then I guess I don't know because I think I looked through this forever ago. Vim the project you and I both use, auto generates options for nonetheless based on something magical. So I guess it'll be like this will land in Nix packages, and then some point later, Nix Vim will pull that in. I don't know what process. I don't know how long that'll take.
Have you been listening to my podcast,
I
by
have
the
not.
way?
I last one I was listening to is quite old, but I just have not been woodworking is my podcast time, and I have not been doing any woodworking. And I am maybe you should tell me. I am a bit of an
Hmm.
obsessive, like listen to things from the beginning to the end sort of person. Should I skip ahead and
I'm
listen to the
guilty
newer
as
ones?
well. I'm guilty of that as well. Um, no, no,
Okay.
but you should definitely skip the whole election series.
Oh, I was actually interested in this. I saw those go by, but I guess it's not useful information anymore.
It was about discovery of the candidates. If you want to learn
Mhm.
about the candidates, uh, hear what they have to say, then go ahead do that as well. They're
Yeah.
shorter for what it's worth.
Okay.
but
Yeah.
they're all
I just
valuable. They're
I
all
only have
about
two
getting to know
times.
people and some new things.
Yeah. I have like two times that I listen to podcasts. One is like when I'm woodworking, and the other is like when I'm lying in bed and can't fall asleep. And when I'm lying in bed and can't fall asleep, I don't listen to podcasts that I want to remember anything about. So it's only when I'm woodworking. Or I need to like, I don't know. Probably I should work out more than never, and that would be a time to listen to podcasts.
Mm.
Well, this is chugging along. I'm gonna give it a mod next if you want to get your thing building.
Probably.
And then I think the next thing to talk about is if we can make this a per project setting.
Right. Should
That's
try
like
moving it there.
per system NCI project. So let's just naively.
You could rotate.
All right. I just mob nexted, so go for it.
Mm. So here's an expect check. And the usage would be, let's change the definition. CI options and I don't think like I'm skeptical about that we can do this, but my first attempt would be projects default. Do you think this will work?
That smells off to me, but sure, give it a shot.
What would you do?
I think
Let's
I
see
would
what.
say
Let's let this thing finish. Shouldn't take too long. What would you
I would
otherwise
look at
do?
the flake parts documentation for how to extend the set of options. I've read this code and done this before, but I do not remember
How to
the
extend the
mechanism
set of options?
or like a
What do
module.
you really? Where do you see it?
I don't remember where it is.
Search for extend.
Maybe altered per system module arguments. I think that's something different.
I would like to search only in the.
Yeah. Could clone the repo, I guess.
Platform module writing.
Oh, my build failed. We're missing the GraphQL files.
Really? Why didn't this tell yet?
You have to get to the fetcher for it to fail.
Do not. That's the best practices. Find a module in a separate file. Is that a? Yeah, that's. Find custom flag generator. Cheat sheet? Hey, you sure that this exists?
Um,
Here,
I
go
mean,
back to
how did
this.
NCI do it, right? NCI added a per system.nci option to flake parts, right?
How did you decide what failed here?
I see GraphQL and I remember that it like does some magic where it like parses a GraphQL file at build time. So I could imagine that would affect the types and
Okay,
result in an error like that.
where's that file?
Uh,
Rates, store. No,
don't think it's
GraphQL is
store.
about the fetcher. Source? GraphQL.
No?
It's
Okay. So I was wrong. That should be included.
about so it should be included, yeah. But there's a link there. That's fine because it's a link to this source.
That's probably a get ignored file that gets created by make shell or something.
But it needs that. It's needed, isn't it? Schema.graph. You need that in the build. Do you want to trace?
Yeah, I'm a little
Do you
confused.
want to look at the
Is
error
it
better?
possible that that's a get ignored file that's just been sitting around on your file system for forever because nothing's deleted it?
But flakes sources don't include get ignored. Unchecked file.
Right. Right.
This is a use of undeclared crate. Fool's query. I think this thing is macroed in. This is the GraphQL query is not implemented for. We're definitely missing some file, right?
Yep. That's all we changed.
Well, we
Oh,
need to
there's a
see the
build.rs file in
trace.
Fetcher that's not included.
Oh, and util as well.
Yeah. And that's what creates that symlink.
So we need another one here for a theoretical
Oh yeah. There's like a maybe exists.
build RS. A what
That
now?
doesn't necessarily exist, right?
Okay. Next. Click check. Something's wrong. Oh right.
Attempt
I
to move that
changed
did not work.
this. Put this back. What did I do? Options NCI faucet.
Yep, and it does not exist, so we need to use maybe missing, which makes sense.
Huh.
Very nice error message. Thank you,
Indeed.
whoever built that.
You don't know who built that.
It was I should know this. I listened to the interview you did with him. Sylvan.
Right.
Sylvan.
Right.
Yes. Well, I guess I wasn't sure that Sylvan was the only person who worked on it, but I also didn't remember their name, so that was part of the problem.
And they're the only person who was on the podcast twice as a guest.
Oh,
And they happen to be the first episode. Share screen.
oops. Sorry. All right. Lib dot file set dot maybe missing. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, maybe this is the last time we bust our caches. Who knows? All right. So I would argue that like we know this sort of thing's possible. Like this is an example right here of us extending per system with new options, right? Okay, but per system isn't adders of anything. No, it is. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm all over the place here.
Mm.
Per system gets massaged into by flake parts, gets massaged into a thing, like a value per system, right?
That's implementation. We are in the
Yeah.
world of options.
Yep. Okay. Um. Yeah. Maybe I'm having a fever dream, and I thought I'd done this or thought I'd read about it, but maybe I'm getting that mixed up with module args, which is a completely different thing.
Project, it's probably atters of some submodule.
Right.
And whether we can extend that submodule, that's a good question.
X module system extend submodule.
Oof. Wow.
Way to extend the submodule.
Second,
Extensible
yeah.
submodules. Feature request from
Wow.
2017.
I think in my mind, I kind of gave up on Googling for Nix. It never seems to work well for anything that I don't already know.
Main problem is when, like in the provided example, so submodules are already extensible. Problem is when one wants to extend a submodule that is inside multiple level of, so in our case, it's an adders of probably.
Right. Okay.
This is like so old, I don't recognize any of the usernames here.
What's the story of Nix users not being around anymore? They made their exit and now they went into farming.
I can't imagine using computers without Nix, so I think you must be right. If they're not using computers anymore, they're not using Nix anymore, then they're not using computers anymore. Oh, what is this? Submodules are extensible. So here's an example of somebody, you just literally do the adders of and types.make types.submodule. Maybe it just
What?
merges.
What? The values of so types are mergeable.
Maybe.
Options themselves merge.
I don't know.
What?
Shall we try it?
Hold on. File system star option are not all defined in the same file. That's different. You if you want to make a new file system, is this what it's about? So virtual hosts. No, this is only adding the locations option to any virtual host. Right?
That's what we want, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
For projects, we want to add a new option.
Man, the depth.
Like when you first learn about like meta classes in Python or something. Like, what are classes an instance of?
I never did.
All right. Yeah. Objects are instances of classes, and classes are instances of metaclasses, and I don't know if metaclasses are instances of metaclasses or if it somehow short circuits.
Metaclasses are instances of Higgs boson classes.
So I think let's find the line of code that exists in NCI that does this, and we'll copy it into our code and see if we can extend this darn thing.
There's no need. Just
There's
do
no
it.
what?
There's no need. We know the
There's no
option,
need.
and we are guessing that it's an adders off type submodule. We can just do this.
Okay. Sure. All right. Options dot NCI dot projects dot equals lib dot, what is it, adders of, lib dot types dot adders of. This will
Well,
be,
hold on.
yes,
Show me the code again, please.
sorry, make option.
Yeah, make option.
Yep, you're right.
I mean, have that.
Adders of,
And then give it a parentheses.
types, okay, lib dot types dot submodule. That takes who knows what.
It doesn't have to be a function. In our case, it does not.
Okay, just make it an adder set, get some pop up paren.
And that's an actual module, so it would be under options dot something inside there.
I see. Options dot file set.
Lib make option type, name, file set, merge. Yeah. Okay.
All right, there it is. Maybe. Sweet cache. I'm gonna let that keep going. I'll rotate over to you.
Cool.
You can test out the next code.
Good dog.
Stop screen share. There you go.
Okay. I have. Okay. Check. Cool. That was quick.
Yes, it was.
Okay, because we're using an option doesn't exist now everywhere.
We haven't defined it. Is that what?
No, we're using it.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
Got it.
change the, for example,
Makes
this.
sense. NCI.projects.default.fileset.
Yeah, but we already have the project default. I'm going to delete this. That was the to-do for making it project specific.
Yes,
Here's
sir.
the path. I'm sorry. Yeah. Where did I just pull it out of? Yes, that's correct.
Paste it and remove the NCI dot.
Oh.
Beautiful.
And this would be config and
projects.fileset.
Projects dot default.
Default.fileset, sorry. Okay. Looks plausible.
And then we have a few more.
every occurrence of
Not this
NCI.fileset.
one. Not this one. Not in this file. Here. Let's default this one. Output equals this done. This project. We have project. Oh. This is the very first refactor that we need in this language, right?
The very first refactor.
Refactor action.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That would be a fun one. Maybe we could build that on at Tiger Sprint.
File set equals correct. Output equals
It's NCI.fileset is what we're looking for, right?
yeah, but sometimes it's not.
I see.
Like for example, here projects. Oh, that's not used. Projects. No. File set. I think this might be the last one. NCI. Projects. Default.
Okay.
Maybe. Let's check it in.
Can you go for a little longer? My build's still going. My computer's spinning.
Well, something doesn't work here. Option. NCI projects. Not NCI per system NCI. Yeah, per system NCI projects. We're defining, yeah.
Okay, so that feels like it's not mergeable.
Our attempt failed.
And I think where I read about this is where I learned about an alternative to make submodule that is extensive. So that might be.
It's not about the submodule, is it?
Yeah.
It says the option is already declared. But look, it says via option per system. So what I'm thinking is that we shouldn't declare it in per system, but outside of per system.
Okay. I don't know how you got there from what you're looking from the error.
Via option per system.
My build is done if you want to rotate.
My time is not up.
Okay.
This needs to be over here. First system. And then this is not.
I see. That makes sense. Right. Good point.
Do it. Okay, I have rotated. I'll be back in a moment.
Doogie. CI. Right. As unsupported attribute per system. Gotta have a config dot in there. Right. Option per system. Be apparent. Aha! There we go. But its type module does not support nested options. There we go. Okay, what's it take? Option would be a parent of, but its type module does not support nested options. So if everything is submodule.
So how is this working? What?
So here we go. The option per system in
Different here?
module circ implementation.nix. I don't know.
Would be a parent of the following options, but its type module does not support nested options. Oh. So now it seems like we're missing something, right? We're missing a way to like explicitly extend, like acknowledge that it's a module and extend it, right?
Yeah. So I just want to see how this thing's defined. So here it is. All right, so there's this per system equals flake parts lib make per system option. Maybe we should try doing that for symmetry. Because we just said per system equals, but here they're doing make per system option.
Well, that's that. Oh, and that's in NCI. Okay.
Yeah. So they put that
Okay.
under options. So I think you were like moving in the right direction. Then I think we want to say equals, and this thing, system option, which looks like it takes an adder. Looks like it takes a
Module.
callback. Yeah, module. Okay. Just get that refactored.
I think
Okay.
it's just a module.
Let's dot. Flake parts lib probably exists. Okay, so
But
maybe we don't need packages, so we'll just skip that and just define an
don't
adder set.
don't forget
And then
to use options equals there.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that out. Ooh. What do we call this thing? Flake.nix. Flake parts. That's what we call it. Okay. And then is flake parts lib a separate thing inside of there?
It's probably lib under flake parts, no?
Oh, no, it's just a thing that flake parts gives you by being in the flake parts. It's not an input. It's
Oh,
they didn't want to conflict
right.
with the Nix packages lib.
Okay.
All right, different error. Now we're getting a is already declared.
That's deeper, right?
I think that's this right here.
Yeah.
Lazy adders of. I wonder what that's all about.
Well, let's just do the make it lazy out of. Maybe it'll
Yeah,
merge.
that might make it more amenable to merging. And then they use submodule with a submodule with option is declared multiple times with conflicting shorthand only defines config values. This is something I've never heard of. You ever heard of this? Okay. Submodule is equivalent to,
We should just use submodule, and that thing has a default.
yeah. So submodule defaults it to true. Submodule with defaults it to false. We're using submodule so that it makes sense that they'd conflict, right? Because we're using submodule which defaults this value to true. They're using submodule with which defaults it to false.
What does it do submodule with?
It's like types.module, submodule, but more flexible and with better defaults. And it says that types.submodule is equivalent to submodule with, but with the shorthand only defines config set to true. So I think if we just change this to submodule with, we won't have the conflicting value.
Yep.
Right? Because NCI is using this, we're using this. It might be
Yeah.
interesting to read up on what this means, but
Oh,
I'm also.
I think it's clear from the name of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Shorthand means to me that you don't have a config attribute in the attr set. That's the shorthand.
Oh, I see. That's always been confusing, and they're saying you can no longer do that. All right. Called without required argument modules. So
It's not just about replacing the function we call. It's now an attr set that takes that with an attribute modules, which is a list of modules, and our module should be one of them.
yep. Okay, we're getting there. But a mess. There we go. Submodule with modules as a list. Oh me, oh my. It's hanging. Are we in a... Oh, we did it! We did it.
Good one,
Next leg
Jeremy.
check. And I should have things cached, right? Like this is not a meaningful difference from a... this should produce all the same derivations that I already just built, right?
Think so. We just moved where the option is. Yeah.
So can you... Sorry, I was too excited to see if that would work. Can you explain to me what this is? Shorthand only defines config.
This allows you, if you don't specify options at all, that the top level attribute, that the module itself, that a module, any of the modules provided in that evaluation, the top level is config
Got it.
or can be
Okay.
config.
Like the classic getting started with your configuration.nix on day 0 of your NixOS learning journey. You don't say config equals, you just start defining configuration options.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay, we did it. Go us. All right. So we did a thing that we weren't sure was possible. That feels good. I'll mob next. Or, well, what? I don't know. Yeah, I'm at time. Mob next. All right, you want to land this thing?
Yes. Let's see what we have. Review it. Git, need to check. So now we're supposed to have source filtering, and in a way that is defined separation of concerns.
Yep.
Lee.
I just wish we didn't have to read the crates from that directory, because that's a quirk specific to our project.
Still progress.
Yep.
This should be maybe the last time with this particular source set, right?
Yeah. And I can confirm that Nick's flake check works. So we're not going to see anything here. Maybe let's just go to looking at the diff.
Oops. Wait, how did this happen? It's not supposed to open it. Oh, I must have done the right thing by accident. Okay. Git diff.
Sweet.
Brace branch. API default next. I think that lib is not necessary.
Agreed?
No. Yes.
Yep. Unnecessary.
API default next. That does not need to be. I'll do the cool thing. I'll do this, yank it, and everything paste.
Yeah.
That was a tree sitter
Gotcha.
based selection. Get back here, diff it again. NCI basically inserted that line there. That's so much nicer than regular diffing. Project default file set. So apparently port is the only extra file, non-Rust file that is not in source. So we kind of have a maybe inconsistency in where we place these files, but maybe that's unrelated.
Yep.
We don't necessarily need to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Another one for fetcher has these. Also, what's nice is that it confirms the existence of these files. So this doesn't get, it's not by default maybe, right?
Yep.
That's nice. It's really, that's a great design decision.
I agree.
In NCI.nix, let's see whether, no, certainly need that lib. So there's a long-winded way of saying, I just want this option.
I mean, it's long-winded, but it's also super cool that this is possible.
Yeah, that's possible at all. So options per system. So there's one wrapper is this. It's like the make per system option. Okay. Now options NCI projects in the context of a per system, lib make option. And this is still not our target option. It's just
right
because it needs to merge. So this is because it needs to merge with something in flag parts. This is because it needs to merge with an option in NCI. And it needs to match the type of that option NCI, which again is like for us an unnecessary detail and also possibly
brittle.
Brittle, exactly what I wanted to say. Well done. Lib types submodule width, again to match what the NCI implementation happens to be. modules equals, and we need it to be an outer set with options, outer set, file set, and here's where we reach the only thing we really wanted to say.
Yeah.
But it's like options per system, NCI projects,
Matters of
lazy. Okay, maybe this is necessary because, and then this libmake option type name, file set, it's just a name, and how to merge it, get all the defs, and then unions them up, but not before mapping them through the reaching into the attribute value.
Yeah,
And
totally
then,
incomprehensible, but we did it.
let's see what
It's
Dusk
fresh
has
right
to
now.
say.
The next time we see it, we'll be like, what the hell?
And this needs to be wrapped in config now, but there's also all of this, which is path is not just this path. It's now a to source where, yes, the root is that. File set is this file set. And config NCI projects per system, config NCI projects default file set, which is what we added, the option that we value of the option that we added. And then we provide one value for it at the central location NCI, which is, well, two things. One is the simple, the root cargo toml, root cargo lock, and then the lib. I can rotate. This is NCI nix. I want to try switching more using this NeoVim. I know it's a NeoVim. This one. I know this is like Riverside. Is it case sensitive?
Understand tabs in your.
Oh, it's case sensitive.
Interesting.
I should make a note to myself to not make it case sensitive. Make it case sensitive. Later.
What are we doing? Get
Reviewing, and we
7.
are right there, line 41 on your left. Full screen.
We are. Right. This is our change to nci.nix. Yeah. So file set to source. Yep. Root of the flake. And then the file set, which is a merge unions of all those. And then we seed it with this value here, which is the union of, yep, toml unlock. And then every directory in the crates folder. For each directory.
The pipe operator will make this like 20% more readable.
For each directory, we have the name of the directory. Probably don't even use this variable, right? And then we get the cargo toml out of there, the build rs if it exists, and the source directory. Then we flatten it. Okay. It's good. And then, yeah, just a smattering of files everywhere. Program docs. Sure. This is database URL. Not sure that is.
It's intentional. Remember this.
Okay.
Because it's shared among multiple different crates.
Got it. Okay. And then pulling in the SQLX stuff, this looks real nice, right? Nice and consistent. And then I guess we could keep these in the same order. It's funny. We swapped them between those two.
I wouldn't bother.
Otherwise,
not
looks
enforced.
good. Yep. Okay.
Is that it?
Done.
Is that really it?
That's it.
Wow. So before we mob done, I just want to think about what we just did. I know we've just reviewed the code, but yeah. So what we did, we want to enjoy it ourselves, but it feels like a little bit too much
Yes. And so that's what
effort.
I was saying at the beginning. This does not feel worth the complexity for a single project. We did it, so we can merge it. I'm fine with that. But it feels like something that should live somewhere where the world can benefit from it.
And part of that complexity is the Rust specific. And I don't think that if you take away the Rust specific part of it, that anything remains. It's Rust specific. I think that the same pattern can be adopted. Like if there is, I don't know, a Python NCI equivalent, right? I don't know if there are Python workspaces, but you get my point, right? The
Mm-hmm.
same pattern can be
Yeah.
adopted.
Yeah.
Or hear me out, a general purpose flake parts thing for sources. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense? Use the power of flake parts just for the purpose of figuring out, for merging sources.
Yeah. Yeah. You could argue that's what we built. The per project nature of it is a very NCI specific thing. The last thing we just did. The fact that you can use this n times, where n is the number of NCI projects you have. I guess we could have just made this an adders of our thing. Like, it was cool that we homed this under the NCI projects, but we could have instead just made our own lazy adders of submodule thing for sources, plural, right? And then this one
Mm-hmm.
that we're building up here was sources.default.
And if there's such a flake parts module that does so, this kind of source merging, source declarations, then maybe NCI and others could use it. But this is as far as I want to take this thought experiment. I think we should just merge it and just share with Dusk and see what he has to say.
Yep, I like that. Do we want to merge it, or do we want to just create a branch and point them at the thing?
I
Or
would merge
would
it.
you
I
be
think
happy with it regardless?
no, I think this is better than anything else we can solve. Any other way that we could solve this.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it doesn't feel like a problem we had to solve.
Well, source filtering. This is how we implemented source filtering at all. Master doesn't have main doesn't
Okay,
have source
sure.
filter.
But we had a very simple version of source filtering that I would say was good enough. And yeah, it wasn't as granular. We were pulling in the entire crates directory. But I would argue that for me would be the sweet spot of like solving the problem we had without over engineering our code.
Yeah, but it's not like, so I would merge this into main.
Yeah, I mean, my objection was more around it's not worth the time it's going to take to write the code, not so much that like I object to having the code in main. So given that we've written the code, it wasn't a lot of code.
Yeah,
maybe
let's do it.
maybe that brittle line of code we added is going to prove to be brittle, in which case I reserve the right to say, let's tear this out rather than continue to, adapt to, because, if I learned one thing tonight, Shahar, it's that NCI is unstable. That's the The one thing. Okay, mob done. Git commit. Boy, Nick's funked. What are you doing, bud? There we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, chore. Give this a scope.
Chore scope flake, possibly, because it's
Okay. And this is like
source filtering.
source filter. That works for
Source
me.
filtering, parentheses, oops.
Parentheses what?
Oops, there was no source filtering.
Oops. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Works for me. Git push. Then I'll do a last next flake check. This has been running in about 30 seconds for me. I'm pretty sure it's going to pass yet again. And we are one commit on top of main, origin main, which has released version 6.0.0. Git push -u origin head main. That's the line of code I'm going to run once next flake check finishes.
Beautiful.
Okay. Git push. PCM mob clean? Is that the magic sauce?
Mob clean.
Okay. That deleted something. Cool.
How did we get? Oh, I get it.
Mob NCI, which I guess had been long gone. But the source filtering's still there. That's too bad. Don't understand this stuff. All right. I've got a random question. Why is it that some commits to main result in releases, but others don't?
It depends on the type.
The type
Part before the
of
colon. The commit message. Subject. The subject is composed of a type. If it's a chore, it doesn't bump anything. If it's a fix, the bump would be escalated to patch. If it's a feat, the bump would be escalated to minor.
okay. So it's
And if
about every time the version number changes, we release, but not every conventional commit changes the version number.
oh, I answered more generally than you wanted. Yes, what you said is correct.
Okay. So that was the part I was missing. I didn't realize that only some conventional commits change the version number.
Oh, then my answer was what you were looking for.
Yeah. I would have thought that Chore would, I don't know, bump the patch version because something changed, but I guess that makes sense.
It doesn't benefit the user. Chores don't benefit the user.
Okay,
If
so
it benefits the user, it's a fix or a feat.
let me understand this. So we had a release here and we had a release here. This did a chore which had no effect, no effect,
Are
no
you reading?
effect,
Oh, yeah, okay.
no
I
effect.
get it.
Oh, okay. And then we forced it somehow?
No. So you're missing information. It's not only the subject. You can have you can declare a breaking change in the body of the.
Oops. That was not. Okay. So get log dash p. No, get log. No extra arguments. So from 5.1, which is here, this didn't change the version number, this didn't change the version number, this didn't change the version number, that didn't change it, that didn't change it, that didn't change it, that didn't change it. This is what did it?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Well, interesting. That certainly makes me appreciate the exclamation mark, because when you're looking at the one line get log view, you can't even tell that would have changed the version number.
Right.
Are you allowed to do both? Like, could we have done shorebang
Probably.
and then also?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that doesn't change the version number. That doesn't change the version number. So the thing we just did is not going to trigger a release. Okay. Makes sense. And that's just the way conventional commits is defined. It defines how these commits affect the version number. And then semantic release just obeys those rules and releases every time it sees a new version number.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Cool. All right. So where are we at? I guess I'll rotate.
That was motivated by general motivation, but also specific motivation that we made some change in Nix code. And I said, no, I don't want to start, Nix flake checking here with.
Yeah. Now what's funny is the work we just did is optimizing for the type of thing we hope to do less and less of in this project, which is Nix only changes, right? Ideally, we are like done writing Nix code at some point and then are just like actually building features and shit. So we'll see. I'm hoping that the thing we just did
filtering,
doesn't pay off, is what I'm trying to say.
No, look, not Nix only. How about documentation? You put something in the README.
Yeah, that'll help.
I don't need multiple shells here. Okay. So what we have is, I have it in the stash list. So that was just, I'm going to stash drop one. What we wanted to do is bump NCI. And that's something I can now pop. Let's do a git switch C, bump NCI, and mob start create. Git stash pop with a syntax error. Oh, because of merge tags. I think I'm just going to drop it. All we did is bump NCI. I don't think it's worth it.
Must not be all we did. Otherwise, we wouldn't get these kinds of conflicts.
Yeah, but very little.
Sure.
Okay. Nix flake update NCI. All right. Now exclude from project docs doesn't exist. Exclude from project docs. Here's one. That include in project docs. True.
Yep.
Exclude from project docs. Include in project docs.
In from
false. True. Exclude from. This is not necessary. Let's see if I can be super cool about it. What's the difference between B and C? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even understand the question you're asking.
If I press B,
Oh, those are two different letters? Okay, I see.
oh, I see. B corresponds with another B that is before my caret. And C corresponds with a whole, so C is the whole, all the attributes. B is this attribute.
Okay.
If I remove this, then this becomes NCI dots. Let's try this again. B, yank, probably E. Nice. Remove this extra, remove the lib. Okay. Okay. Now take a look at the diff that we have. Like lock, exclude becomes include true. Exclude becomes include true. And that mapping is removed. Okay. Next, build program. Let's commit this. So I enjoy evaluation cache. Next build program docs.
We could even eval program docs and confirm nothing has changed, hopefully.
Do we have no program docs in Nixflake check? Like, why am I building this? We're not checking the docs.
Maybe not.
This
Or
is not
maybe
rebased.
something.
It's not rebased. Wait, it is not. There was no branch. This is rebased. Nixflake show.
Maybe something materially changed about NCI.
Oh, about
Affects
NCI.
So we did bump NCI, and who knows what all changed.
That's correct. Checks, packages, program docs is here. Okay, then.
Yeah. So my suggestion to do an eval was not going to work out.
Nixflake check. I actually want to build the program docs and look at them. That's kind of important.
That feels like is that a reproducible thing? Could we diff the build of that with the with the build of it on main?
You want to see that the result is the same?
Right. I don't know if this is actually a reproducible build, so this will be an interesting experiment.
It probably is.
All right, then I propose build the main one as well, and let's do a diff T on the two folders.
All right. Timer, am I on time?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe you never started a timer.
Well, okay, so we will get most from this build. We'll get most of the. We won't get the NixOS test, so. All right, and what's afterward? Let's say this is merged. I think we had a couple of small things, such as replacing Alejandra with the good old, not old,
Shiny new.
shiny new.
Oh no!
Unexpected character.
That's the one that we never had to figure out because we just started dropping dependencies from the docs.
Huh? That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it means things are getting included. Does it default to true? Like,
No, I think the default now is false as well. Anyway, I've nexted, so there you are.
okay.
Hmm.
All right, here's my screen. Bump NCI, mom starts 7, show. All right,
Be right back.
where? Include in project docs. Exclude from project docs. Sure that defaults to false. I think it might default to true. Default is null. The heck does null mean? Get create option. That must be the logic. This must handle the merging of the project with the project settings with the create. Well, I'm curious if I set that to false. Rates. Oh no, the default is true. There we go. That's it. All right. Program docs. CI projects, default. Project docs.
Back.
Um, so for the record, include in project docs does
Uh-huh.
default to true.
To true. Okay,
So
sorry.
we just had
Let's
to
go.
default it to false as well.
Already done. Good. Great.
Okay. Now I was trying to get cute here, and it didn't work. It's not do what I think it does. That
I'm
should
not
take.
familiar with the syntax.
Oh, because I'm being silly. That
You
does
can't do.
something, but not what we want here. What that does is it takes the output of the command and redirects it as a file, or creates a temp file, and then passes it to the passes it as a command line argument. Okay, diff t.
Are you using the Rust fish?
I don't think so. That's version 4, which I think is in beta or alpha or something. I'm on version 3, but it's coming someday.
I want to get on it.
Oh, really? I thought you
Yeah.
were a
Why
new
would I?
fish.
No. I also want to, but it's the switching from
New
Zish
new shell,
to
sorry.
fish is easy. That's a low hanging fruit.
Yeah. All right. So that's, I don't know if you saw the command or if you had a chance to
What?
read it, but
Uh,
that produced no diff. This is
cool.
building program docs here versus
Print out
building them
tags
on
is
make.
important. Yeah.
So I think we're good. Next flake check. It'll probably take a while on my machine.
Yeah. Better rotate.
Push it, but I won't push to main. That. Okay, what did we do here? We updated. Okay, this is a chore. Lake, update NCI. But reasonable.
Sure.
Git push. All right.
It-
And I will rotate to you.
Uh. Where? Main. T. All. Main. Move. Branch. Issue list.
Well, can we get that branch building on your machine? Or did you already do that? Sorry.
Sorry. I was confused. Hold on. Dump NCI.
Yeah.
Pull it. Why don't I need to git log? Okay, that seems good. Flake check.
Yeah.
How about replacing Alejandro with Nix pumped, which would allow us to use pipe operators. This is
Yeah.
closed. The
Okay.
issue closed. 2, 3, 4.
Um, Alejandro and pipe operators is easy. I'm also think it's not urgent. Like we could just go into OpenAPI stuff if we wanted, but it wouldn't take long. So, if you're feeling the itch to do it, I'm fine with that.
I always feel itch to do easy things.
All
Did I
right, you
fight
want to
it?
scratch the itch or no?
I do.
Let's scratch it then.
So this, okay, something failed.
Oh man, something in NCI changed. Damn.
No, I think it's a good thing. I think
Yeah,
it's another thing
is
that we
something
asked
else
for.
we asked about? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So Clippy now is something else. Let's find it. That was discussion. Clippy. But that's not that's not this discussion. Cargo workspace wide builds. I think that was Clippy and docs would be more appropriate as cargo workspace wide builds. Do I remember correctly that this would require some upstream Dream2Nix development? Yes, this needs Dream2Nix work. No, this is not it. It's about Clippy with all targets. Is that an issue then, or what? Let's go. Let's put it. How do I get in here? All targets, all features. Here, this by default, the Clippy now has all features, all targets, and there it is. Because it's closed, I suppose. I just pushed a commit for this on master. I don't really want to add a specific option like Clippy options. So we've worked around Clippy not having that somehow. I don't know how we did that. So in this branch, I think I should probably mob start it on this branch again. I'll search for Clippy, or maybe all features, right? Hmm. Something's. Yeah, this is the same workaround in two files.
Yep, that sounds right.
So I think it's just a matter of removing this. Replacing, let's see, without extent, right? So it'll be something like here, C. No, not C. D. A. Oof, I think it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. This, maybe this exists though. That looks good. That's that. Doesn't format it though. Is that like valid? So
100
all
question I don't know the answer to.
features. This replaces that. I'm sorry. Places all of this. Yep, seems like they're both valid. You can force a line break after the equal.
Reasonable.
Okay. Looks like Jeff. All targets cannot be used multiple times. Where do we have that? All, no, we don't have that. I don't know. Next thing. What?
We're still on bump NCI, right?
Yes. Now it's a mob branch.
Ready? So all targets, huh? Does
Yeah.
not show up in here. Mysterious.
Fine. Let's debug this.
All targets.
Cargo
Cargo
command.
check. Yep.
Check. Profile release package. TR tracker API.
Just Crane. Is it possible he's truly just duplicating something that's in Crane and the tests in this repo just didn't catch it? We're the first ones to run into this?
Yes.
Okay. So verify that with a dash dash yo. Do a nix build dash dash override input. This nix cargo integration. Doing dot hash checks. x86 64 Linux. Could be any of these will do it.
Why are you overriding an input? I don't.
Oh, I just wanted to confirm that we
Oh,
were reading the code correctly
okay, now I get it. Yeah.
because I had a dash dash yo here.
Mm-hmm.
And then surprisingly, I don't see it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Input blah has an override for non-existent input. Whoops.
NCI.
Thank
That
you.
should be an error, not a warning.
Yeah, it should. Jeez. Yep. Unexpected argument yo. This really does smell like wait. Yeah, see all targets, all targets. It's there in two places. So this must be in Crane itself, right?
Not Crane. What do you mean Crane? NCI.
Well, sorry, the other all targets. Is that
Also
in Crane?
NCI, most likely, right?
No, there's only one occurrence of all targets in this repo.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe Dream to Nix Crane.
Oh boy. All right. Lots of places it could be. Do we want to track this down or just report a bug?
Just report it, and then we cannot bump yet, unless it's a different commit introduced.
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably is. Depends on the order these things landed, I guess. All right.
So let's try to bump if we can. If this is later, if the docs, we can bump the docs. Let's try to do that.
Well, here's the order. A lot of deps. Here it is. Yeah, so we could go to here or here.
Right. 9F7.
And then, I mean, I can
There's no command for this.
I don't know. Do you know?
We can edit the log file.
Yeah. Well, I think this will edit the log file for us, and then I can undo the change I just made. Then
Interesting.
will it
Fine.
re-edit the log file? Maybe it will. Lake.nix, lake.log, nix cargo integration. So it's got the thing we want in it, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I revert the change, it does seem to have bumped it again. So I guess we have to edit the log file. Although, I mean, I would argue, that we should be explicit here to document the weird thing going on.
I think it'll be better for us to, well, slightly one insignificant, but if we just bump it to where it can be bumped, then well, it
Yeah.
won't resolve itself because we have a workaround. We have a workaround as well. Okay, whatever. Do it. Is there a blank line there?
Looks
Yeah,
like
there's a
there
blank.
is. Yeah,
Okay.
don't know why. Okay, so I'm gonna say to upstream once law is resolved, and then we'll file an issue with them.
Switch back to upstream. It is upstream.
Okay, sorry, switch
Unlock.
pin, unlock.
Unpin.
Yeah,
Unpin is good.
unpin
I think it's better.
once blah is resolved. Okay, great. And that built. Next flake
Well,
check.
that blah, you think it can be the issue, the upstream issue?
Yeah.
But I think we can prove the issue by making a branch that attempts to do only that. So we pin it, we do the change that we want, that we can, the one with the
Mm-hmm.
docs, and then we try to do another change, make a PR with it. If that fails, that will be used to report the issue.
Okay, I like that. Okay, once upstream issue with
With Clippy.
okay, so I'll do that. Then
You
we
have to
will
revert the removal of the workaround Clippy in these two. You can do git checkout with P.
got it.
Git checkout face branch.
Nope. Nope. We are going to revert this, so that's a yes.
Yes.
That's a yes, and we're good. Okay. Great. And I'll confirm that next flake check still passes. Okay. Up next. Hopefully next flake check succeeds. I'll rotate over to you.
Still the same branch?
Yep.
Okay, now we have a new revision of this. Let's click check and git diff against the base branch. Okay, there's the bump. I'm confused because we bumped NCI for the purpose of where's the documentation related part change?
We
We committed
already
it.
put that in the base branch.
Okay, so mob done. Let me see that this. Okay, this passed. So mob done. Now we just amend.
Yeah.
Amend. Great now. Same commit message, and this we can ship. Switch
Yep.
main. Git merge. Bump NCI. Git push. Git push delete origin bump NCI. Branch D bump NCI. Okay. Git switch C bump NCI again. Start create. Lake. Okay. Go try to remove the Clippy all features. This one, which means this again. That all features. C. No, wrong. Because there is no such thing. And B. That should fail, right? It's like check. Perfect. Is it perfect? Yes.
Yep. That's what we expected.
Okay.
We can
Git
PR that and
diff
file
bump
an issue.
NCI. Bumped. Unpinned. Workarounds removed. Mob done. Commit. Commits. Store. Fake. Bump. Yeah. Git GHPR create. Title's fine. Body should be edited. I don't think we need a body. It's fine. Okay, we have it.
Great.
How do I do this? Enter? It's just enter.
Yeah. That's a lot more annoying than Control Shift O, for the record.
Oh, it's a different workspace. Sorry. Control Shift O. What are we doing? Control Shift O.
Control Shift U. The shortcut changed recently.
Instead of going into insert mode?
Okay. Control Shift O for me adds hints on top of all the links. Is that not what it does for you?
Cool. Control Shift O does that. I
Okay.
remember the. Yeah. Good. No, that's better.
They changed it from Control Shift U recently, which I'm a little still
Open.
training my brain on.
Opens. Nice. Okay. So this should fail with that sometime. And
Yes, sir.
now I believe we can open an
This is definitely a bug.
issue. This is about all features. Divided twice in clipping. It seems like blah blah blah. It's just seems like all features divided twice in these. It's unacceptable. We can paste. Can paste the log from here once we get it. But this is docs. That's not where we find it. This is where we would find it. But also, this doesn't have the cache. So I think
This
what
will
we
be
should
slow.
do is paste it from local.
Yep.
Mix, build, check, whatever.
I think this is a more targeted command you could run.
There is,
Boy.
but here it is.
Great.
Running phase, build phase. This is a reasonable place to start. This is a reasonable place to start. Here it's indented, but fine.
I'd provide
Alternatives.
a command to run just to make life easy.
The PR as well, right?
Sure.
Here's the well, we found it actually. So here, what just happened? I clicked the line. Oh, it's just okay. It just gives me link to that line. So let's click this line. That's 69 is actually 70.
Indexing from 0 or 1. I don't know.
But that would be the opposite.
Yeah.
68, 69. Fine. As long as it works. Here it is in CI of this PR. Here it is in CI of. I know anyone can get to the PR from the CI, but let's provide this PR. PR. Good?
Sure.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Switch to main and stop screen share.
Cool.
Brilliant work.
Chugging along.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And hope you learned something. Jeremy, don't you hope they learned something?
Trying to be educational.
And if you want to join us, this looks like fun. First, you got to know some stuff, but not necessarily exactly what we're doing. That's fine. Hey, shoot me a message, and it'll be fun. So until next time, be well.
Bye.